Persona 5, a game loved by many for its visual storytelling, its music, or for Futaba, I don't know. Whatever the case, Persona 5 has been my favorite game for a couple of years now, but I wondered, how weird does Persona 5 sound to an outsider? Someone that, when I say Joker, immediately thinks that this game is a Batman spin-off. Well, today, I grabbed my friend Andy and tried to explain to him the story universe of Persona 5. But first, I can't go into the metaverse looking like this. I'll stand out too much. It's time to fuse my persona. Wait, is that a word? Now with that all out of the way, it's about time I got on with explaining the story behind Persona 5. I hear that you are not familiar with Persona 5.
No, I'm not very familiar at all. Not very familiar at all, Carter.
Well, if you don't
I wonder what the topic of today's Discord call could be about.
Oh, well, Andy, you're never gonna guess that I am here to try to
I literally cannot guess. Bro.
Elevator pitch.
There's no way I can get this right.
The lore of Persona 5. So what are your previous, like, the connotations with Persona 5? Because most people, when I mention like the character Joker, they immediately think that this game is about Batman, which you're at least going to be some of the people that don't think about that. So what do you think?
I'm pretty sure Futaba Hot, I think. I think that's something I've heard before.
That is pretty common. That's pretty common. I can get you a picture of Futaba.
I also think the music is fucking epic.
That is true. Persona music is literally amazing.
Yes.
But that is the character that you're talking about. That is Futaba. Or
alright.
In the game,
she's alright.
That is your younger sister. So you know what? Already good connotations.
What the hell? What the hell? Wait a minute. What?
Good connotations going into this.
What? Okay, but she's not our actual sister.
No. She's like a step younger sister.
In game though.
I'll get into it though. So the only thing that you have going into this is that you've heard people think that Futaba is hot, and that's all we've got. You know,
that's all I've got.
That's pretty respectable.
And the music song takeover on Spotify.
Ooh, there is a lot. Takeover is a really good song. Honestly, most music in Persona is amazing. So you know what? For having those two takes going into this series, that's not that bad. That's not that bad at all.
Oh, and Life Will Change. That one's also good.
That one is another one of the most popular ones. So I will say that one's also very good. Next you're gonna say, oh yeah, Last Surprise is also very good. Like yeah, that's another one of the most popular ones. Very good.
I haven't heard of that one.
We can go on a Persona music.
Also,
crusade
Joker is Joker still S tier special?
I don't know, because I know MK Leo, he switched and he was the main guy. He still plays Joker a little bit, but he mostly plays Pyra and Mithra now. So I don't know if he's still like amazing. I think he's still good, but I don't think he's like the best anymore.
Okay.
But essentially with Persona, I will go over like a brief plot summary, just overarching story, that kind of thing. And then
Alright.
Probably I can dive into some of the characters, probably touch on like some of the main Phantom Thieves. I won't try to spoil anything, just in case you do end up playing it and end up watching it, because it is a very beloved series. I wouldn't want to spoil anything for you outside of maybe like some character names, just because they do this thing where like, oh, you don't know this character, but you just see their silhouette. All right, 5 minutes later, and they've said their name. Okay, and it doesn't matter. Like, they kind of do like that thing where they try to keep it a secret, but it's not really a secret.
All right.
But yeah, so essentially. the general like main plot, and when I say Persona, I'm gonna basically be talking about Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. I have played Persona 4 and I've seen all of Persona 3, but mainly I'll talk about Persona 5 because it's the one that I'm most familiar with. So whatever I mentioned, just like a little thing, whatever I mentioned just Persona, I'm talking about 5.
Are they numbered because they're all like sequels?
They are not really sequels. There have been theories that they're the same universe, but no, usually it's just like different games where they all have essentially the same premise where they all are able to summon personas, but they usually go through like different things where in Persona 4, they're trying to solve a murder mystery throughout their town, JoJo's Part 4 style. But in Persona 5, they're trying to like steal what they call treasure, which I will also get into later.
Okay.
But essentially.
Also, does the word persona have anything to do with this franchise?
No.
No? Is that a meme?
There's nothing to do with furries in this series.
My card, the persona.
No.
Persona.
That is a slimesicle joke.
It's a slimesicle joke? Okay.
Yes. That is not the
The thing that makes Joker so special is the ability to summon the spirit that dwells within him. Persona! Meow.
Because this literally called Persona. It's not that there was like something had to be related to make that joke. Okay.
But okay, so starting off, we have our main guy Joker, which already, since this is a JRPG, you can name him whatever you want. Since like you can put in your own name. Whenever somebody talks to his character, they will say your name, or they won't say it. They'll like have it shown in the text box, but. Since you can name his character whatever you want, people just call him by his Phantom Thief name, which is Joker. He does have a real name, which he flops around real names a lot. The name that if you ask me for his real name, I'd call him Ren, because that's like one of the canon names. I think he has 2 canon names. I forget the other one though. Actually, maybe Akira. That might be another one. But essentially, when most people are talking about him, they just call him Joker. And essentially, his backstory is that he was walking home late at night, and he sees this woman getting assaulted by this other guy. So he's like, I have a good heart, I have a good sense of justice, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna stop that. So he goes in there and he stops the man assaulting the woman. But this man is a very rich and powerful man, as the man sues him to like hell and back. He can't stop getting sued, so instead of the evil man or like anybody else getting arrested, Joker gets arrested. But since he's a minor, he doesn't actually go to jail. He just goes on probation, and so he gets sent. He gets sent to live in Tokyo with a foster parent, and now essentially he just has to live out the next year or so on probation, and he's gotta go and deal with that. But so he's on probation now. He shouldn't do anything illegal because he knows he's innocent. And essentially, he just has to live out his sentence. So he starts going to a new school, and when he gets to that school, he finds out that there's like, this school might not be all it's cracked up to be, because he's seeing that there's a bunch of people walking around with like bruises on them. There's like, for some reason, there's suspicious activity going on with the volleyball team. Don't know what that's about. When he was walking to school one day, he sees this like old teacher pull over and a young student get into his car. That's kind of strange. Wonder what that's about. And essentially, there's just a bunch of weird stuff going on around him. So, he keeps all this in the back of his mind. But one day, when he's going to school, he bumps into this other guy named Ryuji. And Ryuji, he's a dumbass. He's the delinquent youngster who has still like a good heart, but he's a dumbass. He's stupid, all that kind of stuff. But he starts making friends with him because, you know what, Ryuji's still a lovable guy. He's just a little dumb. You can't spite a guy for being a little dumb. But, so he's walking to school, he's talking to Ryuji about this stuff, but when he gets to school, for some reason, the school is just gone. The school isn't there anymore.
No.
And instead, in its place, is a massive ass gothic looking castle. So they're like, well, maybe they renovated. We gotta go inside to check. So they go inside the castle. And inside the castle, they are immediately captured by guards. Like immediately, because like they're trespassing, they shouldn't be on the property grounds of a castle. Like, it's not their castle. So they get put in the dungeon, and when they're down in the dungeon, none other than the head volleyball coach himself. His name is Komoshida. He comes downstairs, and he's wearing basically like a pimp outfit. He has a thong on and a cape and a crown, and he proclaims that he is the leader. He is the king of this castle, and everybody else is his loyal subjects. And so they're like, "What the heck? No, you're just a volleyball coach." And then he proceeds to start beating them up because they're talking bad about him. So he starts beating them up, and this is when Joker, he gets fed up with all the rotten adults in society. So a mask forms on his face, and upon ripping it off, there's a bunch of blood everywhere. He reveals his persona, which is essentially like this manifestation of fighting spirit. It's essentially a stand, but it doesn't have any special powers. Is it
called Arsene?
Yes, his stand is Arsene. That's also in
Oh
Spanish.
my god.
But essentially, he's able to reveal his stand, and he's able to go and like essentially like beat the guys up. But
Are you calling it stands?
No,
Is it a persona?
It is a persona. That's the thing.
A manifestation of the fighting spirit.
I'm pretty sure it's a manifestation of the heart, or manifestation of the soul.
Oh wow.
But basically, it's the soul of rebellion, where now Joker is able to summon his persona, and he can only summon it in these kinds of places, which I'll get to later. But he can summon his persona here, and it's essentially he just uses it to beat up the guys. Kamoshida takes off running, and they're like, "Oh shit, you can use a persona. That's cool." They don't know what it is. They just think he's like superpower man. So he does that, and they try to escape out of the castle. This is where they meet a tiny little friend named Morgana, which I'm pretty sure you've also seen. Have you seen what Morgana looks like?
In the black cap.
Yeah, where they find Morgana, who's like their...
Morgana League of... Sorry.
No, not Morgana League of... Different Morgana. But basically, Morgana is like this otherworldly being, or so he says, because he is very knowledgeable of this place, which he likes to call the Metaverse, where basically this place...
when was this written, Kurt?
Like 2016? Maybe a little bit. I think it's
Metaverse, okay.
But basically, this place, which they're in, called the Metaverse, is because somebody's desires have boiled up and boiled over, and this is how they view the place. So, Kamoshida, the volleyball coach, that's been like assaulting all the kids, doing all this stuff, he now views himself in his distorted reality as king of this castle. So he creates something called a palace in the Metaverse, which is this massive castle where he's the ruler. He owns everything. He controls everything. He is the dominant figure because that's what his corrupted desires sees this castle as. And so with that knowledge, they're like, okay, well, we can't let him keep being this corrupted adult, like bullying the volleyball team, assaulting the girls, like beating the guys. We can't have this keep happening. So we're gonna try to solve it. We're gonna try to destroy this castle. And the way that they go about doing that is they go to steal his treasure, which is his most desirable thing in the world, which is at the heart of this palace. Along the way...
So to dispel the castle, they have to take his treasure?
Yes.
Okay. Keep going.
Basically, they go through, more stuff happens. Ryuji is able to summon his persona after they get backed into a corner. So now we have Joker with his persona Arsene. We have Ryuji with his persona Captain Kidd. And I forget Morgana's persona. I don't really like it. It looks like a guy in a very big trench coat with like a rapier. So he just like stabs people.
Okay.
And basically, yeah, so they all summon their personas and they're able to get out of the palace. Now, Persona 5, as the game goes on, it switches between the outside world, where you try to change stuff in reality of just being a normal high schooler, as well as in the metaverse, where the things you do in the outside world affect the metaverse, things you do in the metaverse affect the outside world, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, in addition to them going and fighting these evil beings, which are called shadows, they're basically just like people that Kamoshida thinks works for him. They're just like these gloopy dudes. It's like,
Carter.
huh?
You die in the metaverse, you die in real life?
Yes. If you do die in the metaverse, you would die in real life. Because essentially, it's like throwing yourself into an alternate dimension. You just exist there.
Okay, cool.
But basically, so they're trying to do all of this, like, fun stuff, trying to basically make Kamoshida admit to abusing these kids because they don't want to, like, take his treasure. They don't know what it does yet. They don't know if they take his treasure, if it kills him. They don't know if they take his treasure, it turns him into, like, a living husk. They don't know what it does. So, they're trying to do everything that they can to dissuade him. But eventually, this doesn't go so well. They're talking to him in his office, and Kamoshida fakes getting into, like, an argument with them, and basically blows up on them, and says that he's gonna expel them in, like, 2 weeks. The next time that he's at the teachers' conference, he's gonna expel Ryuji and Joker because they're already delinquents. I don't think any of the teachers are gonna have a problem with that. So they're like, oh shit. Well,
crap.
It's now or never. We're gonna have to steal his.
Kawashida's a volleyball.
Yeah, he's
captain?
the gym he's the gym teacher and also the volleyball coach, head volleyball coach.
Okay.
So they're like, oh
Okay.
shit, now we've got 2 weeks to do this. We've got 2 weeks to go take his treasure and try to do all that. They start working the case more, but there's been a person eavesdropping on them. One of the girls that was kind of like Kamoshida's main whore, which she didn't like it at all, but
No.
she was doing it for ulterior reasons. I don't want to spoil too much of their story, so I'm going to basically put it just as the baseline that the
Alright.
like persona gives you. Rank 1 of a confidant, which if you talk to them more, you can rank up, know more of their story. Well, this is the baseline. This is what you just know, where we meet On, which she's like she's the blonde one and she's the athletic one. She's essentially she was always viewed as Kamoshida's like main girl that he would always try to go to, even though On didn't want to. She just like reluctantly did it for like reasons that you get into later. But essentially, she starts like overhearing Ryuji and Joker talking about this because it's like, oh shit, they're gonna try to like take down the guy that's been abusing me. I want to help him. So eventually, one day, when they start sneaking into the metaverse, which the way that you sneak into the metaverse is you tap an app on your phone and you're able to get transported into the metaverse. She sneaks in there with them. On is not a Persona user, so she's like a liability, but they're like, well, we can't force her to leave. She's already seen our secret. She's seen us in our Phantom Thieves outfits, in our cool like metaverse Persona outfits. So, what do we gotta do? Start taking her along, I guess. They get in there, and they find a fake On, which is basically just
No way.
On, but she is in only her underwear, and she is clinging to Kamoshida, fake Shadow Kamoshida, saying that she loves him a bunch, because that's how Kamoshida views On. He views her as someone that loves him, is willing to do anything for him, stripped naked all the time. So
Jesus Christ. Okay.
they defeat Shadow On. On awakens her persona named Carmen, which is very cool. And now they have a 4-man party. So they go and they defeat all of Kamoshida's stuff. They make their way to the treasure, which they see the treasure is just a big blob of goo. They can't do anything with it. So they realize Kamoshida in the metaverse isn't connected to Kamoshida in real life. So we have to tell Kamoshida in real life that his treasure's in danger, so that Shadow Kamoshida thinks his treasure's in danger and it'll manifest. Morgana says all this. We're going off of whatever Morgana says because he's the knowledgeable one, I guess.
All right.
So, back in real life, yeah, to listen to the cat. Back in real life, they all get together, and Ryuji, he makes something called a calling card, which they send to Kamoshida. They post it everywhere all over the school, and essentially it's just like, Kamoshida, you have done some bad actions. You are a bad person, abusing all these kids and doing all this shitty adult stuff. So you know what? We're coming for you, and we're gonna take your treasure. And Kamoshida, he comes out and he sees all this and he's like, what the hell? Like, is somebody coming for me? Am I gonna get like killed? Am I gonna get assassinated? So he gets worried and defensive, and that makes his treasure appear. So back to the metaverse they go. They all sneak in and they steal his treasure. And then after like this big cool boss fight, they break out with the treasure. And after they break out with the treasure, Kamoshida, it's basically like they stole all of his evil desires, where he breaks down crying, he holds a student meeting where he brings all the students together and blatantly admits, like, yep, I've been abusing kids, I will take some time to recover, send me to jail, I need to go to jail now. Basically, he just becomes a super remorseful guy, despite, being this cocky asshole who would literally abuse girls on the volleyball team. Like, literally, he just becomes a super remorseful guy now, which everyone's like, okay, he did a bad thing, put him in jail. Like, so they go into that, and then now seeing this, Ryuji, On, Joker, and Morgana are all like, oh shit, we have the power to, like, make a difference. So, they start all going through, and they're now have made a special team called the Phantom Thieves, where now their job is to go and stop all those rotten adults that have been terrorizing and taking advantage of people for far too long. They've got to go and stop them. And then essentially the rest of Persona is them collecting more members of their Phantom Troop and are able to go and stop more of these rotten adults. And that's how it keeps going. So I'll run over every member of the Phantom Thieves, but
yes,
just first, do you have any questions about the overarching plot of it all?
So is the treasure like a physical thing? Like, what was the gym teacher's treasure?
Basically, yes, the treasure is a physical thing, where the gym teacher, as soon as they stole his treasure, it was noted that it is a volleyball trophy from the time he won the championship. So, this was the start of his cockiness. This was the start of his long-seated desires. This is like the catalyst of all of his evil shit. It was this one trophy. So, now that they've stolen it, which they didn't actually... It's a little loose, a little fast and loose with that, where it's like, technically they have a copy of it, they sell it for money to have a party afterwards, but I don't think they sold his actual trophy, so maybe they duplicated it, or maybe they actually, like, teleported to them. It's a little fast and loose with that, but, like, that's how it goes, essentially. So yeah, it is a physical thing that they steal.
I get the lyrics of Take Over Now.
I get the lyrics.
It's about fucking, like, never mind, maybe I don't.
Maybe I don't get the lyrics anymore.
But it's like about like making bad people not bad.
It's making bad people pay for their crimes, essentially.
Yes, and also making them depressed.
Well, it's not depressed. It makes them, like, remorseful, that they actually like see the truth in their actions. Okay.
It's a good follow.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
Do I get pictures of the main Phantom Thieves?
Yeah, I will send you a picture of the main cast, and we will go through all of them in the order that they are shown in.
Okay.
So, you already know Joker. He's the main one.
Okay.
Over to his bottom right, that's what Ryuji looks like. He's the main guy that we fight. He's like your best friend that you talk to. To his left, that's On. Bottom left, that's On. She's the girl that was abused by Kamoshida. To her bottom left, that's Morgana. He's the funny little cat fella that helps you. And now we're getting into the people that you don't know. So essentially, every palace is a new Phantom Thief there that was affected by, like, what's going on. And also, I'm not going to include the DLC ones, and also there is technically one more Phantom Thief guy who you can see in the top right. I purposely cropped his head out of it because it's kind of spoilery, so I will not be talking about him.
Okay.
But the rest of them I will. So essentially, every time there's a new palace, a new Phantom Thief member gets added, and it keeps going with this. So, second palace, you see just to Joker's immediate left. That is, I'm pretty sure his name is Josuke.
Is it actually Josuke?
Okay, no, that's a joke. It's Yusuke. It's Yusuke. No, it's Yusuke. But basically, Yusuke he's an art student. and he is getting abused by his art teacher. Ah, shit, that's bad. Becomes Phantom Thief, helps Joker and the gang.
What's his persona, Carter?
I forget the name of his persona, but it essentially looks like this big shogun guy who has a massive pipe, and he wears like this traditional Japanese outfit. He's pretty cool looking.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, we have Makoto, which is to Joker's top right. She is the student council president, and she's this big goody two-shoes, never does anything wrong in her entire life, but eventually gets fed up with it and blows her shit, and now is like angsty teenager, but still like when she's out in the real world, she's still like the happy student council president. She has to like keep up her appearance. Then you get to the metaverse, and she's like curb stomping people. She's beating the shit out of everybody, and she's just she's had enough of this. She's over with it, over and done with. And
so you're stopping her? Or
oh no, basically she gets screwed over by some mobsters, and she has to like fight them. She's the person that helps you fight them.
Oh, okay.
And her no, go for it.
The mobsters are the second palace?
Third palace mobsters.
Third palace.
For the next two, I will not be saying their palace, but just know you are not taking them. And also Makoto's persona is called Johanna, and it is literally a motorcycle that she rides into battle. She rides her persona like, remember Wheel of Fortune, the stand that was a car?
So this stand is a motorcycle?
This stand is a motorcycle called Johanna that fires nuclear attacks at people. It's sick.
Holy shit.
Love Johanna.
It's a rocket bike from GTA 5.
Kinda, yeah. Then
Does it fly?
No, it cannot fly, sadly.
Oh man. Okay.
To the left of Yusuke, we have Futaba, which she is actually the only party member who doesn't fight in Persona. Where basically, after you get her on your team, she kind of replaces Morgana's role as being the guy that knows everything. Because Morgana, up until this point, is like, all right, guys, this is how we go. This is how we do everything. Like, this is how the metaverse runs. Now Futaba is that person because she is like, she's just like, she's not really smart in the sense that Makoto is smart, where she's not book smart. She is just very knowledgeable in most things. So she's a very good hacker. She notices a bunch of stuff. She knows the layout of all the palaces because she like can interpret every document that they send to her. She is that person. She's the man in the chair that's helping you from afar. And that's kind of taken very literally because her persona is a massive ass spaceship that, like a UFO that she just like chills in. So the entire battle's happening, and then Joker will go to do an attack. She'll go, "Wait, Joker!" and then give everybody special buffs for her UFO by punching some buttons, and then everybody's stronger.
Holy shit!
Yeah, she has
support character.
Yeah, she's literally the support.
Okay, bro.
Even though you don't do anything, because she just like tells you like, "All right, guys, giving you some support from the background. Here you go, fellas. There you go." But yeah, so she's pretty cool. And then last that I'm at least gonna cover, just above Ryuji, that's Haru, where again I'm not gonna say what palace she came from because now, like with the later palaces, it gets kind of spoilery where I have to explain a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to spoil this too much for people. Haru, essentially, she becomes a phantom thief without even knowing the rest of these guys. They meet her in a palace. And then so she's like, oh shit, there's more people trying to do what I'm doing? Let me help out you guys. So she meets up with the rest of the Phantom Thieves, joins their crew, and starts working together. They figure out they go to the same school so we can do meetings easier. And like, yeah. So we have Haru going in there. She's having a good time, and she's helping out all of them. And
what is her persona?
It is called Milady, and it is literally a girl with a massive ass dress. Look at this.
That's right. No, but he's just a dress though. There's no girl.
That's just a girl that's gotta be wearing the dress.
But where's like the head?
The like handkerchief thing.
The handkerchief is the head?
I guess.
Okay, this is just a dress girl.
It is. Oh, it is a dress. It's still. Yeah, all of them have special ability powers. Where Joker's power is that he can have any persona. He's like the Pokemon trainer, where he just switches out his personas by going and fusing different personas in something called the Velvet Room, which is a whole different thing to get into. Essentially, he is destined to save the world, so this man named Igor starts helping him by letting him sacrifice and fuse personas. And then he's able to like use a bunch of different personas, kind of like Pokemon in that way.
So is Arsene his main one?
Arsene's his first one. He doesn't really have like a main one, but in all like the promo art, in everything like that, Arsene is his main persona, but he doesn't have a main persona because he can switch around everything. It's like asking if Red, the Pokemon trainer, has a main Pokemon. No, he switches them around. Like your player character, he switches them around. But whenever the main Pokemon is shown, it's Pikachu. Or it's Red's Charizard. But he doesn't have one main Pokemon.
Okay.
Now,
Makes
just
sense.
to... oh yeah, and then also, On's main ability is Fire. Morgana's main ability is Wind. Joker's main ability... Ryuji's main ability is electricity. Yusuke's main power is ice. Makoto's is nuclear. Futaba is a support. Now, just as an ending activity that I thought would be pretty fun.
Yes.
So, I already revealed this, that we call it Joker because that is actually his code name. Because again, you can make the name whatever you want, but his name in the metaverse is Joker. Because they thought, hey, if we're running around the metaverse, we don't want to be like using our real names. What if somebody hears us? So we're going to call everybody code names. So now you know all of these people. Try to guess each of their code names.